Hey guys, how you doing? My name's Llama and today I wanted to talk to you about how to efficiently farm in Razorfen Downs. Now, Razorfen Downs is a little bit different of a dungeon compared to a lot of the farms that you've seen me do, and that is that the majority of the value that you're going to find yourself getting in this dungeon doesn't actually come from the mobs that you are killing. That being said, they still can provide a great deal of value, so you will be killing mobs and you will be trying to do so in an efficient manner, but the real reason that we do this dungeon is for the treasure chests. Now, because this dungeon is primarily going to have its value from these chests, and a lot of them are going to be locked, that is why you see me doing this on a rogue, but any class that can open up a treasure chest that is locked is perfectly fine for this farm. Any class can achieve this, as numerous professions do enable you to open these chests, but a lot of them are going to be at a cost which will reduce your profit margin, and there is no real reason not to do this on a rogue, especially when you're given in mind that rogues have everything that they require in order to be able to be an efficient farming class. They have a on-demand AoE with no cooldown, they obviously have the ability to open these lockboxes, and they have numerous movement speed abilities as well. So if you have access to a rogue, I would highly recommend it for this farm, but if you don't, you can use any character that can open the lockboxes. So, the first thing we're going to talk about is going to be the route that I am taking. I'm going to put it up on the screen, you're going to have quite a few chances to see me going through this entire dungeon, but the real thing that we're doing here is this route is optimized just to get you to be able to get access to all of the lockboxes. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pop up on the screen for you here a few screenshots of all the places where you can find lockboxes in this instance. They aren't all guaranteed every run, but on average I tend to find myself getting about 5 treasure chests per run opened, and you will get a green item at least in every one. Obviously it's not greens we're here for, but some of them do have some value, and any blues and purples you're going to get realistically from running this dungeon are going to come from those chests. Now, the route itself is actually very simple for this dungeon. The dungeon, while it isn't in a straight line, is a completely linear dungeon. There aren't really any alternative routes to take, so you are just going to progress forward when you enter the dungeon. This is the only point where it seems like there is actually an option on where to go, in that you can go straight on or you can go to the right. You're going to go straight on because if you go to the right, you're basically just going to find yourself at a dead end. That's the route we're going to take out of the dungeon when we've completed it. So you just want to progress forward and work your way around the dungeon until you get to the point where you have a ramp on your left hand side. This is going to be shortly after you have killed the first treasure chest locations mobs, and you are moving on into the area that precedes the second boss. At this point you are going to proceed up the ramp to the left, kill all of the mobs around the top area that you find yourself in, and hopefully have the double treasure chest points spawn for you, open those treasure chests and make your way across the bridge to the second boss. Now, this second boss doesn't actually have anything of value, but you do unfortunately have to go out of your way to kill it, as it does create a sort of barrier that you can't proceed through the rest of the dungeon unless that boss is dead. When you aggro it, it does aggro a great many of the trash mobs around it, which also unfortunately do not have any loot associated to them, so you do just want to be killing those and then moving on as quickly as possible. Once you have killed that boss, what you want to do is you want to turn around, and to the left of the bridge that you came over from, you want to simply jump off and progress around the path that is now presented itself to your left, as you see me doing, and then just follow this all the way around until you get to the final boss. The final boss is actually not going to be killed by us, as it doesn't actually provide us any value and does take a considerable portion of time for it all to go through all of its summoning process. So we're just going to kill the final trash mobs up to the last boss, right up to the very last mobs, loot them all, turn around and jump off as you see me doing here, and move back to the beginning of the dungeon and reset. So that's all there is to it for this particular instance. Now, there isn't any particularly good items that you're going to get in this instance for the sake of consistent gold. There is basically only shadow silk, but there are quite a few high value items that you are going to be able to get yourself from doing this instance, and as a result I wouldn't recommend this for an instance that is going to fill up your auction house. Almost every green I get, I end up selling to the vendor. But if you are looking for those high profile items, those big ticket items that are going to really give you some auction house value for when it does finally sell, then this is the dungeon I would recommend for you. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do like the video. Feel free to comment and ask me any questions that you might have for me, or subscribe to the channel if you have really enjoyed it and would like to be up to date with the next video that I bring out. But for now, guys, thanks for watching. See ya.